Hey everybody, this is Snug, and today I want to walk you through a new challenge that me and Sim Girl did. It was a lot of fun. We each built a house, a shell of a house, and she ended up doing all the floors and the walls and a lot of windows. The one that I did for her, it was a bigger house, but I left all the walls blank so that she could pick the colors. The rules of the challenge were that anything that the person had done, you had to leave. So what it came down to is that all the flooring, the coloring, the windows, I had to leave where they were, but I could add windows, I could add walls. If there wouldn't have been walls without paint on them, I could have used whatever colors I wanted to, or flooring for that matter too. But she had gone through and done the whole thing. So Sim Girl and I actually do decorating very, very different. We have very different tastes when it comes to that. I've noticed it when we've done our Sims, made them and dressed them up, and just the clothes that we both pick out and that kind of thing. And that's the neat thing about Sims to me, is that you can make your Sims in your houses in your own style and personalize it a lot that way. So it does leave a lot of room for being really creative and not having your stuff look just like everybody else's. So this challenge, when I saw it on YouTube, really intrigued me. And the two people that I saw it, they decorate in somewhat of the same fashion. So theirs was, and they've done it quite a bit, different challenges together and stuff, where me and Sim Girl really haven't. We both really like the game, but we've never actually, like, here's a build and then you finish it, or vice versa. So this was very difficult for me to do. I will have to say that. I love the house. I love the way it was laid out. But I am used to color, a lot of color when I build. So I started on the outside with the landscaping in that, because I didn't know what to do with all brown and white walls. I really didn't. I had no idea where I was going to go with it. And all the rooms were done to a certain size, which were smaller than normally what I would do. I think that they're probably pretty normal size for most Sims houses, but again, for me, it's like I know what size I like the bathrooms, what size I like this, what I leave open and what I don't. So it was really, really hard for me to wrap my mind around it. So I started again with the outside, and then I did the kitchen, and I got that, so I liked it. And then this front little square area with a stairwell that went upstairs, I was like, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. So I tried to make it into a little sitting room, and I think I did a really good job, because you'd walk in the door, you could read a book there, you can go upstairs, it's a place to sit when you're cooking in the kitchen, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was really hard. And then I did skip a whole step here. I forgot to hit record. This is where I decided that the house would look better in Strangerville. It's a desert, and it has more oranges and color in the background of it, and the house with the pinkiness to it everywhere, from the wood to the outside, really looked a lot better when I put it on that lot in Strangerville. And it is probably one of the prettiest houses I have ever seen, that I like at sundown. the way the sun hits off the brick, and just the colors of it is just really, really pretty. The bathrooms in the bedroom, again, when I got upstairs, the layout, and I know some girls said the same thing about mine, was so different than what I'm used to that it was really hard to figure out where to put the furniture and what to do. So I made a little bedroom. There is a full bathroom up there, and I made a sitting area, and then next to that I put a big huge mirror, and I added 2 guitars and a violin so that they could like play in front of the mirror. So it's a little bit of like an artist alcove type of place, and a microphone. I didn't know what else to put there, but it needed something, and I already had so many plants around the place that I didn't know what to do. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of stretching. That wallpaper I have never used before. I don't think I would ever use it. And so it was fun working with things that normally I just wouldn't go towards. I wouldn't gravitate towards. And finding a way to make it so that I was happy with how it looked, and yet make it functional, and still really love the end product, and I do. So it was a real testament to imagination, that when you get something from somebody else, you can see their vision, but it's not necessarily your vision. So that was a lot of fun. The upstairs patio, outside patio, I ended up, that's probably my favorite place in the whole house. I just found basic, I mean, it's the desert, so I found basic chairs that I would think would stay cool in the desert. I don't know, I don't live in the desert. And it just, I try to keep it with like a kind of a country theme, the whole house, like a French country theme. I don't know really French country, so let's just say it's country, because I've never been to France and I don't really know French country. But that was the vibe I was going for, was more of a country look. But the problem was is that there wasn't a lot of light up there, and then I had a whole nother section to do, and so I brought in the sparkly trees, which I really love. I love to use, but they're so specialized that you don't really get to, and I put them in vases, which I really loved how that turned out. And then I put a dance floor up there, and I was going to have a DJ booth, and then I ended up, there's a thing that you can use so that they can take with them if they're a guitarist or a violinist, and they can put it out on the street and play, and other Sims will come by and drop money out for them. So I put that up there so she can practice in her own house on a roof, playing the guitar. And I don't know if people will come there for money or not. I'm not really sure. Like in the front here, I put a coffee table down that's like old-fashioned, and I was like thinking more like a wooden coffee table that you'd find at a rummage sale, and you'd put out in the front, and it would match the chairs and weather really pretty. And that was the thought behind that, even though it's like a really nice inside Sims house coffee table. And one of the rooms that I made was a children's room, so I put the swing set outside, which I don't use a lot in builds. I mostly just do landscaping, so it was really kind of fun to incorporate that into it. And I was like, oh, well, this swing set has black seats, so, and it's the desert, so you don't want to sit on black, because I remember being a kid and sitting on a black swing set seat, and that's hot. So I picked the brown one with the brown seats so that the little kid doesn't burn their butt, really, is what it amounted to. And then what I really love about that last big free update was when they brought in the terrain tools, they also gave you an eraser for the terrain paint. And that made me so happy, because now I don't have to worry about if I put something down, it's down there forever. So I ended up making in the middle there like a little garden, and it took me a while to find the right statue to go in there, and I did, one that I liked, but then I had to move the swing set back, and then luckily I have the eraser tool, well, we all do, and I fixed that up again. And what started out as being more complicated ended up looking better with all the plants just in the rocks piled in one place. And then I just take the lights, the little tiny lights, and then I make them about twice as small, and then stick them under the plants so you really can't see them, but it lights up everything, and it really shines through really pretty when it's dark out. And so then I brought my sim in and made sure everything worked, and then she went on the swing set, and she didn't want to get off. I'm like, okay, click off, okay, click off, and she really didn't want to. So here's the finished front of the house, and here's a little bit closer view of the back, and it has the barbecue out there and a closer view of the front. And this is at night with the lights and the flowers around it and the flower boxes. I really love those sparkly trees and how that turned out. And this place at night really shines, and it just makes me happy. The tree, I made it smaller, which is why there looks like fireflies around it, but that's okay. I like that. This is the front entrance. This is the kitchen, obviously. I really like the yellow stoves and the green. The dining room, I ended up really liking how that turned out. This is the little living room with the TV and a fireplace, which I guess you wouldn't heat. You could use a fireplace. And there's a little desk area that I made sure I got in there. This is a really happy little kids room. If you actually had a small child, you'd have to change the bed. This is the music area with the sitting area. And then this is the upstairs. And if you look at it in game and it's playing, the lights sparkle, twinkle. And I really, really love how that turns out. So I really had a lot of fun. And thank you so much, SimGirl, for dropping everything and doing this challenge with me. It was a ton of fun, and I really appreciate you playing along with me. Thanks, everybody. Bye.